selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an
become relatively familiar phrases, and I don't want to say cliche, but probably pretty true phrases in the NBA playoffs over the last bunch of years, and they have run concurrently. Now, they ran on the same night last night, but with totally different results. Playoff Jimmy and Heat culture. Oh, boy. You got Playoff Jimmy last night. But I don't know what the hell that was in Miami with Heat culture. Good morning, boys and girls, and what a weird night in the NBA in the playoffs last night. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Thank you for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You got Playoff Jimmy last night. Playoff Jimmy could barely move. Playoff Jimmy down the stretch scored 14 of his 27 points in the fourth quarter. Playoff Jimmy hit big free throws. Playoff Jimmy got a big rebound, and Playoff Jimmy's new team is up 3-1. What's up, dude? How you living?
What's up?
Is that fair? I mean, between his old team and his new team.
It's about the Jimmy Butler and the Joes and not the X's and the O's.
Right? You talk about the Jimmys and the Joes and not the X's and the O's, and this was about Jimmy and his new team, and boy, we're going to get into his old team, but way more important is his new team because they're still alive and his old team is far from alive. Crazy game last night. Warriors go early, Rockets come back. It's a game in San Francisco that Houston has got to have to avoid going down 3-1 with 4:20 to go. Fred VanVleet hits one of his 8 3-pointers, and the Rockets are up by 4. And here come the Warriors. They take the lead. Jimmy hits a couple of free throws, and then he gets a big rebound. He was terrific. JJ, you get a reputation. Big shot Bob, right? Playoffs are where legends are made. I don't know if Jimmy Butler's going to be a Hall of Famer or not. We'll decide that. I think he will because of postseason. Ask Eli Manning about that. Robert Ory's not a Hall of Famer, but he's got 7 rings because he was big shot Bob in the playoffs. Playoff Jimmy's a real thing. And last night, when it mattered, dude who could barely move and with this gluteal contusion or whatever it was, what are we calling this? A deep gluteal muscle contusion and pelvic injury. He was the difference.
Got a bruised butt.
Yeah, he got a bruised butt, and he was the difference. And it was the Rockets who went away butt hurt.
Certain dudes in sports can elevate themselves in the biggest moments. The attitude, the grind mentality. Jimmy Butler finds a way to get to the rim, finds a way to get the big shot, always plays hard in the playoffs, and he saved the Warriors season. And they made that trade.
When they made the trade, yeah. I don't know if it was last night, but certainly we thought Jimmy Butler was going to Phoenix, didn't we? And that's kind of at the trade
all the
deadline.
noise was.
That's what the noise was. And we
I
thought
think for Jimmy Butler, he's like, thank goodness I didn't end up in Phoenix.
Well, I also think we thought Kevin Durant was going to the Warriors. The Warriors were going to make a move. And I think it's pretty clear that their initial intent was to go out and rerun this thing with Kevin Durant. It worked before. I think they believed it would work again. I believe it might have worked again. I don't know that I think they'd be in a much different position than they are right now. They might have been in the 4-5 series as opposed to the play-in series. But I don't know that they'd be much different position. Now, as the 6th seed, they are currently up 3-1. They haven't won the series yet, but you know the numbers, right? I mean, you were talking about them yesterday, and I forget what you said. When a team goes up 3-1 in the series, I know that the win percentage is overwhelming.
It is. It's
in the high 80s.
I don't know if it's high 80s, but it's around there. It's high 70s,
yeah,
low 80s, which 3-1 deficit 7-game series, you're not come back from very many times.
Yeah. And that's what we're watching. So it's something else, man. It really is. Steph Curry a little bit off. He had 17 points. Pods had 26. Jimmy Butler had 27, and a gigantic win for the Golden State Warriors.
Well, what it looked like last night,
yeah,
was Golden State knows, like, all right, maybe next year you can get us, but right now it's like the dad in the driveway. It ain't your time yet. And it's evident because the Rockets, and when Thompson takes over, gets to the rim, you're like, okay, that kid's got something. You get him off the dribble. He's pretty darn good. But then there's also moments in the game where Houston looks completely lost. And they go a few minutes with bad possession after bad possession. Like, all right, where's the flow coming from? Who's going to pick it up? And even in rough stretches, there's a different level of confidence with Golden State because Houston was right there.
Yeah,
they were right there all night long. They bounced back, but this goes back to, as you started this off, it's a cliche. It's like dad in the driveway going, it ain't your time yet. Keep grinding. We got this.
I heard the dad in the driveway cliche a number of times yesterday in regards to the Timberwolves-Lakers series. I heard it used constantly on the Talking Head TV shows where dad in the driveway, LeBron had beaten Ant Edwards a bunch of times, and yesterday was the switch, and Ant Edwards finally beat dad, and now that's how it's going to be, right? The dad in the driveway analogy is, dad always beats his kid one-on-one until the day the kid beats dad, and, kid's going to beat dad the rest of his life, right? That's the dad in the driveway.
Sure, I could see that flipped, even though, like, I'm looking at Minnesota team that was in the Western Conference Finals last year, and they don't feel like they have to prove anything at all in the playoffs.
but I think people think they have to prove something, and I think it's good that Anthony Edwards feels probably that he has to prove something. They didn't go through the Lakers last year, right?
No.
Denver did, right? So they didn't go through that dude, and I think there's something symbolic
about beating LeBron.
Absolutely. Beating LeBron as opposed to just getting further than the LeBron, right? I mean, the Lakers went out. Didn't Denver beat them in the first round last year? Is that how that went? If I'm not mistaken. Didn't they sweep them last year 4-0? It might have even been in the second round. But, Minnesota went further than the Lakers last year. But they didn't go through the Lakers. And there's something little mystic about that. There's something more symbolic about that, about actually going through them and beating them. And that's where that came through. And I think you're right on the Warriors, man. The Warriors are still dad in a lot of respects when it comes to the Rockets. Look, Amen Thompson's really good. Sagoon is really good. Fred VanVleet's a champion. He's won a championship with Toronto and Kawhi. He was on that team. Jalen Green's really nice. Like the Rockets, don't sleep on the Rockets. And I'm not certain I think they're done, to be honest with you. I think Golden State will win the series. Well, Jeff, then they're done. Yeah, but I think they throw a punch and come back and win in Houston, and then the pressure turns onto the home team in Game 6 in that scenario, right? But and I think the Rockets are here for a minute. I think people forget Ime Udoka is a heck of a coach. He'd still be with the Celtics, most likely winning championships, if he didn't have an inappropriate relationship with a subordinate and had to go through all that. I mean, that was messy. Right? But he's still a hell of a basketball coach. And they put together a heck of a roster. They were horrible 2 years ago, the Rockets were. And they built it kind of like the Thunder did, kind of like who's telling me that they were going to do the same way. But, what was I listening to the other day? Is it the Kings? Maybe it was the Kings. But anyway, trying to build it the same exact way. Where was I? I was the Wizards. I was with a Wizard fan the other day. Like, all right. And they like their pieces. But it was impressive last night. It was impressive. 109, 106. And then there was the other game. Holy bleep. When you go to halftime and your network halftime show, like always, they want to keep you there, right? And God bless those guys, because Ernie, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, they keep it real. That's why that's the best studio show maybe in the history of studio shows. Fair?
Yeah, because you have different level personalities. They're fantastic, and if they keep it real, no one else can do what they can do.
No,
no one's going to tell Shaq or Charles not to do something.
Ernie Johnson said at halftime, "This is the worst basketball game I've ever seen." That's what he said at the halftime report. And
55. We've seen two teams get beat by 50 points in the playoffs this year.
It's 55, and I don't even think it was that close. It was almost 60, and they hit a couple shots at the end. 55 points at home in an elimination game. And Charles Barkley said something, and I feel so much the same way. I hate using the word quit or choke, right? I'm not a big fan of either of those words, and he said, he doesn't like using those words. But he said Miami quit. This was at halftime. He said this is the epitome, I don't know if that's the word he used, but the perfect example of a team that quit. They got their bags packed. Wait, their bags aren't packed. They live in Miami. They're not going anywhere, is what he said. He said, but if you lose by 55 after losing by 40, you don't get to stay in town. You got to leave. That's an Eric Spoelstra team that got their asses kicked in an elimination game at home. And we talk Heat culture. Heat culture's been this thing. Oh, Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra and the championship pedigree of the Heat. And yeah, but who is it? It's Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, and then where's your Heat culture, right? He's a Golden State. He's in San Francisco, right? He's retired. He's Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Is Heat culture still a thing?
Not if you don't have the dudes. It's not the X's and O's.
It's the Jimmy Butlers.
The Butlers and the Joes.
Yeah. I mean, to get beat by 55 in your gym in an elimination game. I look, Cleveland's the 1 seed, Miami's the 8 seed. There's no one surprised that Cleveland won. I don't even think anybody's surprised that Cleveland swept the series. Miami's 37-45 this year. Miami wasn't good. Miami's not good. But I got a guy who was on the Olympic team. I got Tyler Hero, who's supposed to be really good, who scored 4 points. 1 of 10 shooting. They turned the ball over 19 times and got absolutely pantsed in their own building in an elimination game. Like I haven't heard what Eric Spoelstra had to say. I'd like to read some of it. I don't even know how you come back from that. I guess you got all season and you regroup,
it's one where the only thing you can think is 1, 2, 3 Cancun. Like that Spoelstra. Like I trust Eric Spoelstra. I do. I've seen him coach so many different iterations of that team with or without superstars be competitive, and that was a team that had already been getting blown out the entire series. and there's a lot of warts on an 8 seed that's under 500.
Who was actually the 10 seed who had to play their way up
Yes.
to the 8 seed. Yeah.
They went through the play-in to get
Yeah, they
the
won
8
2
seed.
games.
There's a lot of warts on that team. Even in the playoffs, do you expect a team to get beat by 50? Not at all, but that's one that the offense was awful early. They have no defense when Cleveland is absolutely buzzing. That's why the Cavs are legit. It's Cleveland and Boston. It's 2-horse race in the Eastern Conference. And that's the only way you can look at it is just those dudes, when they saw, 10-point, 20-point, 30-point deficit, effort was gone.
Yeah. Eric Spoelstra, coach of the Miami Heat, quote, "Damn, it was humbling. This series was humbling. These last 2 games were embarrassing. But Cleveland's also a very good team. They showed us why we weren't ready for that." Every time they showed a shot of Pat Riley and the front office staff, I mean, it's just like the most disappointed, angry parents. You know what I'm saying? Now, Eric Spoelstra's not in trouble. Is he the longest tenured coach after Pop in the NBA? He has to be.
I believe
right?
that is correct.
He has to be, right? And he's not in jeopardy. And again, it just shows it doesn't matter how good of a coach you are. I can't believe we're going to use this the 3rd time in this first segment. But if you don't have the Jimmys and Joes, it doesn't matter what the X's and O's are. If you don't have it, show me a coach who's been a great coach with not good players. Go ahead. Phil Jackson was the greatest coach ever. Yeah, and he found a way to win with Michael and Scotty and Shaq and Kobe. And yeah, Red Auerbach was the greatest. And he had Bill Russell and John Havlicek. And yeah, he was great. How was Bill Belichick when he was at Cleveland or after Tom Brady? Now, he's still a damn good coach, I think. Some of you don't. And boy, are we going to talk about him. Right? But you got to have the players, man. And that's why organizations win regularly. Organizations win regularly. Organizations that have a good front office. That's why the Spurs went on that run for a while. That's why Miami went on that run for a while. Right? That's why you see consistency when there's really good organizations. That's why people go after these young general managers and try to steal them. Pick your sport. They do it everywhere. Right? Dan Campbell wasn't a good coach until he got a lot better players, right? Now he's a hell of a better coach. Andy Reid is a hell of a lot better coach with Patrick Mahomes. Now he's a Hall of Famer, all-time great, than he was a really good coach when he was in Philly, right? It's kind of crazy how that works. It's just crazy, isn't it? All right, we got a bunch to do today. Let's play radio. 505-246-0610. Come on in. 505-246-0610. That's the email. That's the phone line and the text line. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the X, it's _JJ Buck. Watch the show if you would like. Our Facebook feed is live for you at the OD in the AM. The OD in the AM. Also live on Xfinity Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico and on the ProView Network's YouTube channel. Adrian is producing for us, as he always does, over on the visual side. We got a lot of hoops to get through, the football stuff, the Bill Belichick weirdness, the Rockies. Oh, they got out to an early lead, JJ. They were up 3-0. The hockey was good last night. Boy, do we got a lot of show for you. And we'll give away Ice Stopes tickets. We got a 4-pack for the game on May 14th. We will give that away coming up at 8:25 this morning. It's the opening drive. He is JJ Buck. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta. Thank you for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. On the spot automotive detailing. Maybe you got your tax return. Just got mine. I'm going to use a little bit and spend it at on the spot automotive detailing. Protect your vehicle. It's one of your biggest investments. The incredible services at On the Spot Automotive Detailing will make you happy. We're talking about paint protection film, ceramic coating. Prevent those nasty scratches, the stains, the fading paint. Call On the Spot. They're rewarded best in the city because they are best in the city. They know what it takes to provide quality care for your vehicle. Protect your car's value. Book with them today. Also have them come out and detail your vehicle. That means they come to you at your office, at your home, because they realize you don't have time to sit around, take your car somewhere, wait. When you go outside after they're done, your car will look and feel and smell like the day you took it off the lot. Brand new car feeling, no brand new car costs. you're going to have that car for a while. Take care of it. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is at otsdetailing.com. It's all right there. Book and buy online. otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protect.
Top 5, top 10 players in the league. Jimmy Butler's name doesn't come up, right? And Jimmy Butler's been doing this for a long time. I don't know if you feel that he's a all-time great. Probably not. Right? You're gonna name me 15 dudes that you think are better than Jimmy Butler. But can you give me 15 dudes you'd rather have in the playoffs than Jimmy Butler? He's 35 years old. Where'd Jimmy Butler go to school, by the way? I remember him playing. You remember? You remember? Lobos played him this year.
Yeah, he went to Marquette. He was drafted by the Bulls.
Dwayne Wade also went to Marquette. Some good ones at Marquette. He was late first round pick, 30th overall by the Bulls. But do you consider him like one of the best players in the league?
Never in that elite category,
right?
But it's what you said. It's the Eli Manning of it. Good, but something different in the postseason. And Butler is better than that overall.
Better than Eli Manning?
Yeah, in his career. I know he doesn't have.
That's probably right.
But just the consistency and then to elevate his game to a different level. It was super impressive what he did in Miami. And he took that Miami team in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And lost to the Nuggets. But you look at this, it's pretty much the same roster. The style of it is a bunch of dudes. All right, yeah, you have high picks and Bam Adebayo, but it was, all right, Jimmy Butler, just to get out of the way, I got this.
Is Derek Jeter similar to that? Derek Jeter was a really, really good, consistent player, but he was spectacular in the postseason.
Yes.
You know, guys that were really good players. And I think Eli's got to fall into that. You don't have to tell me Eli was great. He wasn't bad. He was better than an average quarterback, but he beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl, so that's where he made his mark. Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. To me, Derek Jeter was really, really good, consistent for all those years, but boy, was he great in the postseason. Right? There's just guys who are that's who they are. You know, Robert Horry was that way. All right, 505-246-0610. If you'd like to play radio today, come on in. Emails coming in, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. The noise continued yesterday about Shedeur Sanders and the precipitous drop of Shedeur in the draft and why that happened. And there was a lot of talk yesterday, and I think it stemmed from Boomer Esiason, right? A WFAN in New York.
Yeah, he's one that put it out there about teams taking him off the board.
Yeah. So quote from Boomer Esiason on his show in New York yesterday. I'm telling you right now, and I know this after talking to 3 different personnel people in the NFL this weekend, they didn't even have him on their board. They took him off. And they took him off because the owner said, take him off. I don't want that guy. I don't want this entitled person on our team. And I don't blame them. End quote. I told you yesterday, there's a process, right? What we've been listening to for, I don't know, for the 3 months prior to the draft is about combines and interviews and pro days and all these private workout, right? All that. And there's always been a part of me that said, I don't give a damn how fast a guy can run in his underwear or jump. Put on the tape and let me watch it. Right? And I think Shedeur's tape is really impressive. Now, is it impressive enough to make him a franchise first-round pick? Look, I don't evaluate the game at that level. I can't tell you where his feet were on the 5-step drop or did he make the wrong read. Like I don't watch that much tape, and I'm not even sure if I did, I would know the game at that level. Okay. But the fact that they go through the process, the fact that they do the interviews, that means it matters. And I'll stick to this, and I know I said it yesterday. There's a reason they do interviews. It matters. These tests and all these, they matter. They're part of the process. And while I firmly believe that talent will always win out, if he had his dad's talent, JJ, he'd have been a top 5 pick. Right? But he doesn't.
He's the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah. Or 2, Travis Hunter. Right? But yeah. But he doesn't. So he didn't have that to fall back on. And I don't doubt what Boomer Esiason saying. I think he's well enough connected. And he says, I don't blame them. Shedeur was asked over the weekend if he regrets anything with the pre-draft process. Quote, do I have any regrets? I feel like in life, it's always a way I can improve. So it's always in different areas I'm able to improve. And some things that I could have done at the time seemed right at the time. I could have went about it in a different way. And that was like more during the season and stuff like that, end quote. I'm not even sure what I think that means. Do you?
It's, to me, this is one where all these guys that play sports at the highest level have a confidence to them, have a way about them. But to present yourself like you're that much better than everyone else. Like, there's too many stories of him coming across bad in interviews for me to believe it's just people trying to hate on the kid, and it was just pre-draft smoke season. Like, he fell to the 5th round.
Yeah.
That's not just one team trying to get him at 15 or 17. And I think it's a message to everyone. Yeah, your brand could be huge, and you could have the spotlight on social media, but you still got to work, man. You still got to earn it. And they're not asking him not to be himself, but they're asking him to be responsible, respectful in those interview process. And it doesn't mean that, you have to bend over backwards and not be true to you, but true to you absolutely was egg on your face in the NFL draft process.
So I agree with you in so much of what you said. I listened to, this was them trying to humble Dion. This was them trying to send a message, them being the NFL, and somehow they colluded. I just don't believe it. I don't believe anybody was trying to send a message necessarily other than, dude, you're not that guy. Because if you were, we would have taken you earlier. And again, I think Cleveland wins in this, okay? I think Cleveland wins. I think Shedeur's going to end up being their starting quarterback, and he's going to get his chance. Now, I don't know if it's going to be opening day, but I do believe by midseason, Shedeur's going to be their quarterback. And I think for whatever it's worth, I think they got a good one. A guy that was valued by many people, and obviously not by them, as a first or second round talent, and they got in the 5th. So I think they got, I think Cleveland wins. I'll say it again, and I know I'm repeating some of what I said yesterday, but if the Browns would have taken Shedeur with that second pick, or traded back as they did to number 5 and taken him at 5, everybody would have gone, yep, they got a good pick, or they didn't. But there'd be no stunned, he wouldn't be, the president would be talking about him, right? And nobody would have questioned that he went 2nd or 5th. So they got a good one as far as a 5th round pick. But this is, to me, them saying, look, young man, like this is the NFL, and you're going to have to respect the process. You're going to walk into a room full of men, and your dad's not running the team. And that's going to be different for Shedeur. Shedeur played at Jackson State in Colorado. His dad was running the team. His dad said, I brought my luggage, and it's Louis, and that includes my son. He said that when he got to Colorado. His dad was there to protect him. Now he's walking into a room of grown-ass men, and he's going to have to prove himself a little bit more. And I think that if you're asking for, there was a message, yeah, then fine. That was the message. That was the message was to the young man. You can't walk into our building with an attitude like, hey, draft me and I'm going to change your culture. Who are you? You're not that dude. We're going to the phones when we come back at 505-246-0610. If you're there, stay there. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is brought to you by the Rio Grande.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All-in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in
pack of tickets to give away, Isotopes in Tacoma. Game is on the 14th of May. We'll give those away at 8:25. Opening drive, Jeff Sabieta, JJ Buck, 505-246-0610. Chad, thank you for holding. Good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's good, Chad?
Hey, guys. Just wanted to chime in on Shedeur and a little bit of Lobo basketball. Shedeur, yeah, I just think his position was the key element there. I mean, if you got a guy who's more worried about his brand and kind of his interests, you know, if you're a cornerback or a receiver, you can be a bit diva-like and kind of it plays out all right. But when you're a quarterback and you're a leader on the team, kind of accountable for so many other guys, and you're kind of the role model, I think that doesn't talent, even if he's really talented, that doesn't supersede that other element that's going to carry. There's going to be a lot of double standards brought up and a little bit of hypocritical kind of behavior. I think that would not play out very well in the locker room. So I think that was a lot of it. But the other side of it, too, I just want to get to the Lobos, too. I'm so psyched about what's happening. I think some good things going in place. Love that we finally got a big guy. I'm sure you guys already talked about it with that. I just think if we get one more about 6'9", 6'9"-ish guy that's kind of full muscle and can be a presence underneath, I think that would really be able to defend and be a rim protector, and also, be able to muscle up to some of the other bigger guys in the Mountain West. I think that's one more key missing piece, and I think we're looking pretty good.
Appreciate you, Chad. Yeah, no, they're still working on it. Have you heard anything on the Dayton Aubrey? Did he make a decision yesterday? Because at this point yesterday, John Rothstein had said the former Utah State guard had narrowed it down to USC and New Mexico, and there was word yesterday that he was going to make his decision by the end of the day. I hadn't seen anything. Did you?
No.
Yeah, nor have I. And we might get something. I keep looking and checking, for somebody to X that for me. As far as Shedeur, yeah, I think there's a lot of what he said. There's going to be a humbling process. I think there's going to be a growing up process, and I'm not telling you I think Shedeur is immature, because I don't believe that. I think we all grow up. I think we all continue to grow up. I don't know that, I'm an old man, and I'm still growing up at some points. Relatively old man, by the way. But I still like to believe I grow every day. This is going to be an interesting run for Shedeur. He's going to go into a place and play on a football team in a program that is not run by his dad. It's going to be different. There's going to be a veteran incumbent who's won a Super Bowl, who's going to be, at least when he walks in, the alpha in that quarterback room, right? There's going to be two other young guys. One guy who's already played in the NFL, another guy that was drafted in front of him. He is not going to be able to control the situation. Now, I believe Shedeur, by all accounts, is a gregarious guy, a nice guy, good guy, whatever. But I think, we watched athletes grow up. We watched LeBron grow up. We watched Kobe grow up, right? Everybody is a lot different at 30 than they are at 20, and they're a lot different at 35, right? And there's a maturing process as you go through different stages. And I think what Chad just said is, that's what he knows. What is Shedeur? You can tell a guy about humility. You can tell a guy that you have to earn something. But when he's come up the way he has, how is he really supposed to know it? Like, is it? I'm not trying to give him a get out of jail free card here. But when you start saying, well, why would he be brash? Why? Well, first of all, he's Deion's kid. And he's come up the way he has.
It's worked for them.
Yeah.
Like the branding works. It's understandable. But then there's, I don't want to say, I don't have the view of they have to be humble. No, it's what you're discussing. It's to grow up a little bit. Like the process is there for a reason. Again, it doesn't mean you have to change yourself entirely. It doesn't mean you have to be something you're not. But it's a job interview.
100%.
And quarterback is the most important spot on a team. No matter what. You could be a good quarterback, great quarterback, average quarterback. Everyone's going to be looking at you and how you handle yourself, how you go into the locker room. And he was, even if you're a talented dude, if you come in with that attitude, there's still going to be kind of that side eye looking at you. You sure about that? You have to handle yourself a different way. And I think, Shedeur Sanders is going to go in there, I guess in this case, a bit humble being in the 5th round pick, but it's going to be fascinating because this could end up actually working out great for Cleveland.
Yep.
And this is one where the ownership actually could hit a home run, because it doesn't sound like they were going to go back to Shedeur. If you pick Dylan Gabriel in the 5th round or 3rd round, you're not thinking that Shedeur Sanders is going to be in their 5th.
For a franchise who's been looking for a quarterback for, I don't know, Brian Sipe? Was that the last good, solid Cleveland Brown quarterback that you had? Vinny Testaverde, I guess?
Baker Mayfield.
For a year.
One playoff game.
Yeah, but then they got rid of him. Like, when was the last time they committed to
Cleveland problem?
Yeah, that 100% a Cleveland problem. I'm not telling you that they made the right decision there. But, it's been forever. They may finally get their dude in the most weird of circumstances. I agree with you. This may work out well. Why does Joe Flacco keep getting jobs? Why does Tyrod Taylor keep getting jobs? Why does guys like that, and I say guys like that, veteran guys who are not great quarterbacks, good quarterbacks, why do they keep getting jobs? Well, because they're leaders right? There's a professionalism to them. There's a humility to them. Obviously, there's talent there, but they're not great quarterbacks. There's a bunch more of those guys in the league, right? They keep finding veteran guys that keep finding a home, getting a 1-year contract, a 2-year deal, because there's a humility and there's a leadership value to it. And look, I think Shedeur can learn that. But if you really look back and say, why would you expect Shedeur Sanders to be humble, to be what you wanted him to be? I mean, you would want him to be that in the interview. But look, if I'm hiring, if you're hiring, if the dude doesn't have talent that just absolutely supersedes everything else and interviews the way that we have heard he's interviewed, are you hiring him? For whatever position you have, are you hiring that dude? The answer is probably no, right? Because he can tell you, I'm going to come in and I'm going to change your locker room. I'm going to change your culture. I'm going to do this and wasn't prepared. And I mean, all the things that you've heard. I mean, I don't know why this is such rocket science to everybody. Well, he's that much better. Is he? We'll see. We'll see. All right, 505-246-0610. We got to hit this weird Bill Belichick stuff. And there's more to it this morning and stuff that's coming out. I guess there was a whole CBS left 30 minutes. They had to cut 30 minutes out of the interview. And
Hey, don't you get in trouble for that?
For what?
I showing the whole interview.
If you claim that you were showing the whole thing live, yeah. I want to get into that. And maybe Bill's going to be shopping for an engagement ring. So I don't know. He should go to John Thomas Jewelers, because John Thomas Jewelers has over 3,000 ladies and men's bridal rings right now on hand for you to go see and try on. If they don't have exactly what it is you want, they will make it for you. And if you don't even know what you want, they'll walk you through the process and say, hey, take a little of this and look at this. And then they'll be able to make you like a sample, and they will make the ring right there on premises in their state-of-the-art design center. John Thomas Jewelers has the only free lifetime nationwide warranty in Albuquerque. They are my jeweler. They will be your jeweler when you walk in the door. You got to go out of your way now. You're not going to stumble across them in the mall. You got to go find them on the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building. But when you do, you're going to realize right away why they were voted the coolest jewelry store in America by In-Store Magazine, why they're the only 5-star Google-rated full-service jewelry store in town, why they're the fastest-growing jeweler in New Mexico for 3 straight years, and why they've been voted the best jeweler in Albuquerque 4 years in a row. They will make whatever you are looking for, whether it's rings, bracelets, earrings, watches, whatever it is. John showed me, the first time I was in there, he showed me a picture. Somebody sent him a picture. It was like a leaf. They wanted him to make a pendant out of that leaf, and he did. He showed me the piece. They're amazing. Go by and see John Thomas Jewelers, whether you're looking for an engagement ring, an anniversary gift, or just something to make her go, wow. They're on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal. 3rd floor, Lewis University building, 2440 Louisiana Northeast, Suite 310. It's the 3rd floor. John Thomas Jewelers, where Albuquerque gets engaged.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is...
Two crazy ones last night. 55-point romp by Cleveland and playoff Jimmy leading the Warriors. 2-109-106 win over Houston. 505-246-0610. Been waiting for this one, and I'm looking forward to hearing this perspective. Cleveland, Mike, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Mike?
How you guys doing?
Life's grooving. What's going on?
Good, good. So I just wanted to call in as a Cleveland fan.
Yeah.
We are very far and few between, especially here in Albuquerque. Everybody always asks. You know what? One guy, one time I was wearing a Browns jersey. He said, Hispanic? Swear to God.
Oh, so you totally cut out. I didn't hear. We didn't hear the punchline. What did he say?
I said I was wearing a Cleveland Browns jersey, and a guy told me one time, "Are you a Cleveland Browns fan because you're Hispanic?"
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you even answer that?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I've been a fan since. I mean, my favorite player growing up was Eric Metcalf. You know, I loved Bernie Kosar, and that's how I, chose to be a Browns fan ever since I was small. And I can remember 3 times in the draft when I was like really excited, and I'm diehard. It's weird, like Browns fans for some reason, you're just diehard, and there's a lot of other, fan bases are like that. But if you like the Browns, it's because you're just diehard. It's not because you like the,
There was no bandwagon for you to jump on. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I can remember 3 times watching the draft that I was very excited as a Cleveland Browns fan, and it's weird. It was Johnny Manziel.
Oof.
It was
give me Miles Garrett. Give Miles Garrett.
Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield. All right. And it was when we drafted Shador. Okay. I was at Hooters for the draft. We made the trade with Jacksonville. I'm like, no. I remember when I called you guys, I said, it's Cam Ward or it's Travis Hunter. That's all. Of course, it wasn't going to be Cam Ward, so I thought we were going to do that. When they made the trade, I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? I guess we're getting Shador. That's why we made the trade. We're getting Shador. We picked the kid from Michigan. Like, they picked the kid from Michigan for all these Ohio fans. Like, I was just done. Like, I got up. I didn't finish my food. I slammed my beer. I was like, why? Like,
they hate each other. Those two states hate each other. Yeah.
You're like, what the heck? Like, they hate us as fans for doing this. And then, the draft went on. I'm like, okay, they're doing this. They're making moves. We're getting trades, or we're getting more picks. And then, bam, we get Shador. And I'm like, I mean, we're going to sell jerseys. We're going to get people in the stands. We're going to probably maybe get some more TV time if he's, our quarterback. Like, I was excited. Yeah. Okay, I was excited. Yes. I don't know if you guys noticed, but on his brother's social media, the stuff he was posting, it looked like there was Netflix cameras there.
Yeah, there was a big camera.
A hero story.
Yeah.
This is going to be a Netflix series, guys. Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback that is going to bring the Cleveland Browns out of the toilet bowl. You've heard the term, I'm taking the Browns to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to really be a thing, guys. Let's go.
Right on, man. That's a great call. Thanks for that. Look, Browns fan, I think, should feel good about it. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee you he's the guy. What a weird draft, too, right? Because they do. They take an Ohio team takes a guy from Michigan. They hate each other, those two states. And they get 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks. It's a weird draft for a team that's really not very good. But, JJ, will you be surprised if he's the guy they finally get a quarterback since Bernie Kosar?
No, I won't be surprised. I look at the NFL draft, and I'm glass half full with all these players. There's an opportunity. There's guys that you have no idea who they are. They're going to be franchise players. There's a reason that this is theater for everyone because of that last call, the hype, the expectations. And even if people tell you, oh, it's not superstar draft, there's going to be players that were selected. There's going to be players that are picked up over the last few days, undrafted free agents, that are going to change your team. It's going to be the reason why you win games next year. And I think that's why this has become such a spectacle, because we play quarterback, GM, head coach every single day. And this is the general manager playing out live in front of us with the NFL draft. And to be a team that's desperate, starving, that has something super intriguing. Like Shedeur Sanders by everyone. It wasn't just Mel Kiper who's losing his mind the entire weekend.
He loses his mind, I heard, huh?
Was, even in a quote-unquote down draft class, the down quarterback can still matter to your team more than a really good cornerback or anything like that. And that's what's super intriguing about Shedeur Sanders in a system that you have a coach and general manager that have been given plenty of time. Kevin Stefanski's been coach of the year. You have to trust his process with it. I think there could be something there.
Lloyd says on the draft, what amazes me is the follow the leader mentality, Jeff. If rumors get out that one team likes a dude, the rest of the clubs are, wow, we need to take another look at that guy. What are we missing? On the other hand, if a squad passes on a player they were expected to take, his stock among the rest of the league falls faster than gas prices. Gas prices haven't fallen that fast. I mean, they've trickled. Yeah, I mean, it's like your fantasy draft, man. There's always a run on kickers. Right? Your boys don't take kickers?
No kickers.
I'm still in drafts where, you don't have kickers at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will always take a kicker with my last pick because I know I'm going through a different kicker every week.
Run on kickers?
Dude. A guy in the 7th round, Jason Tucker. I got the best kicker. All right, attaboy. It's good for you. Yeah. All right, I want to get into the Belichick stuff because it's now weird. I don't care who you love. That's not my angle on this. I know it's some of yours, and it's just now it's gotten weird. You saw it. Now North Carolina seems to be concerned. It's the opening drive. He's J.J. Buck. I'm Jeff Symbieta on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Sound.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
Well, you got playoff Jimmy and Heat culture last night on display. Well, or at least one of them. Or maybe what they both evolved into. Good morning, boys and girls. Merry Tuesday. Kenny Thomas will be with us to talk playoff basketball. The former Lobo great, 11-year NBA veteran, will join us at 9 o'clock. We got tickets to go see the Isotopes coming up at 8:25. I'm Jeff Simbieta alongside JJ Buck. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ, last night, good viewing. I flipped over during during that beat down of a 55-point whooping that the Heat were taking and watched some playoff hockey. And I watched the Tampa Bay Florida game was spectacular. Tampa Bay was leading. Florida leads the series going in 2-1, and Tampa Bay was up 2-1 in the third. Florida gets a power play goal. They review it. It was offside, and then Florida scored 2 goals within 11 seconds and wins the game 4-2. They're up 3 games. It was, if you like the hockey, and I like the hockey, it was really good.
The Lightning scored 2 goals in 11 seconds. Then the Panthers did the exact same thing. How is that possible?
It doesn't happen.
And then the Dallas Stars, first period, score 9 seconds in the game, destroy the Avalanche.
6-2 was the number there. Yeah, 9 seconds in. Yeah, the hockey was fun last night. The hockey's always really fun. Tonight in the hockey, a big one for the Kings. It's back in Los Angeles. They're playing Edmonton. It's 2 apiece. Vegas and Minnesota 2 apiece. They'll also be in the Pacific time zone tonight in Las Vegas. Carolina, Jersey, and Toronto and Ottawa will also be tonight. In the NBA tonight, you get, what do you get? You get 4 games tonight in the NBA? I believe you get 4. You get the Bucks and Pacers. That'll be your first game, 4 o'clock. The Pacers look to close out the Bucks. Then the Pistons trying to stay alive in New York after that tough loss to the Knicks. Magic and Celtics. The Celtics are also trying to close that series out. And a big one late. Nuggets, Clippers tied at 2 apiece. That game is in Colorado. That's on for you on TNT. 505-246-0610 is how to get in today. 505-246-0610. All right, we've been talking between the playoffs and the draft and the Shedeur stuff. The Bill Belichick interview on CBS Sunday morning. I didn't see the whole thing that aired, and nobody saw the whole thing because the reports are this morning that CBS had to cut 30 minutes of it out. TMZ is reporting that the interview have 30 minutes cut from it. And Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, stormed out in the middle of it and expected Bill Belichick to follow. All right, there's so much weird here. I don't care who you love. Love who you love. It doesn't bother me. I know it bothers a lot of you. Now, you tell me if it was your daughter, you'd feel different. And you're right. Yeah, you're right. But it's not. And by the way, she feels like she's been 24 forever. She'll be 25 next week. I'm like, damn, she's still 24? She's the 24-year-old girlfriend? All right. What's weird about it is the dude has been in total control of everything in his whole life that we've ever known about him, and at least in his public life. Absolute control of the media. We're on to Cincinnati. That's a stupid question. We just made play. Right? I mean, everything. He's controlled everything. The ultimate control freak, the guy who wanted his players to not be on social media, is now dating a Instagram star. One of the most popular out there. Everything he does is out there. But that's not even, the weird part to me, JJ, is the fact that he is not only allowing it, but publicly allowing this young lady to dictate his interviews, how they go. The question was, how did you two meet? She says, we're not getting into that.
Ooh, did that open a can of worms on social media?
Well, because all it leads us to speculation, right?
Well, it's not just that. It's that numerous instances during the interview when it was football questions that she was stopping and correcting him. This is... It's a weird relationship that you said do what you want, but when you have an instance like this, like I think Bill Belichick can answer a football question. Bill Belichick knows what he's talking about when it comes to football. And all you can think is Bill outkicks his coverage, so he's just like, yes, ma'am.
Let me just tell you something. Any 73-year-old that's dating a hot 24-year-old outkicked his coverage.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's the way it comes across is it's like she's has him on a leash.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so people have been questioning his mental acuity. He's 73. She'll be 25 next week.
It's Bill Belichick. And CBS is like, yeah, we don't want to do a second round of interviews with you. We're good.
Yeah, there was a second round that was scheduled. Right? It's really the fact that she's everywhere at practice, She's basically the de facto GM, and evidently the higher-ups at UNC at North Carolina are now concerned about her involvement, her role. How's this end? Like, do they stay together until he passes, or do they split and she writes a book? And
like, initially you could see, all right, she's handling social media, maybe she does emails, like, fine. Like that, then you just get into this weird interview situation where she's injecting herself into the football portion of it, trying to set some type of tone, like we're leaving this interview, storming out, and then Bill's just sitting there like,
what am I supposed to do? I guess I'm on to Cincinnati.
Guess I'm just sitting here. You see my sweatshirt? It's torn.
What the hell was that? Everything about it was, and again, Bill Belichick interviews have been weird since Bill Belichick is.
But he was so good on TV.
He was really good on TV, dude. And
like
that
the inside the NFL stuff, and just talking football and that, and then you get this situation, you're like, whew, that was weird.
Yes. TMZ's reporting there were a number of instances where she interrupted Belichick. Right? She would reportedly stop and correct him when he was answering questions, as you said, about football. TMZ's reporting that CBS producers were surprised that he showed up for the interview, accompanied only by her. Because this was to promote his new book. That was kind of the whole premise behind this thing. He's got a new book out. No one from his publisher. There's no one from North Carolina. I mean, usually, something like this, if UNM's, like if Richard Pitino would have done this, Steve Kirkland, the sports information director, would have accompanied him. Now, his wife might have been with him. His kids might have been with him as well. But typically, your sports information director, everybody was he representing the University of North Carolina at that time? Maybe not, but that's with whom he's employed. There was a second session, and CBS is like, yeah, no, we're good, man. We don't need to do this again.
Dude, this is the situation where you're sitting there and this is going on, and she leaves the room. You look at your buddy and be like, "You're all right, man." Like,
no, seriously,
are you good? Do we need to talk about this?
Well, I mean, at what point? And I'm not going to sit here and question. Look, at some point, probably every one of you and us and me, and we've all been mesmerized by a woman at some point in our life, right? But that dude, to put on that performance on that stage, is so completely, totally out of character of who he's been for the last 30 years. And so, yeah, it makes you, if you give a damn about that dude, I think you would be concerned, right? TMZ said that there's unnamed sources at North Carolina are saying that there is a, quote, growing sense that this could become a problem. Really? Really? This quote is from, I don't even know who this quote's from, but it's in the TMZ story. It's been a problem for weeks. She's not employed in any capacity by the football program, but she receives and sends emails. She was heavily involved in negotiations, we're told, with NFL Films regarding a potential documentary infomercial regarding the UNC program. If I'm UNC, I hired Bill Belichick, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
When is that buyout? Was it like June 1st the buyout drops tremendously, right? I imagine TMZ is going to stay on this, and where else is she exerting influence and control over him within the football program for, again, which she does not work. I think the other issue here, and I don't know if this matters to him, but I think it does. Does this hurt him in the next NFL hiring cycle? Because I do believe he wants to get back. What is he, 12 wins shy of Don Shula's all-time record? Something super attainable, right? I do believe he wants to get that record. And I don't blame him, by the way, for wanting to get that record, being so close. But do you believe that it's kind of the Shedeur conversation? Is it worth it? Is the external noise worth it? And if this is, am I hiring you and her? Because I don't really like what she's bringing to that program. Well, she's really good at the social media, and She takes a lot of good pictures, and she sends my emails. Well, okay, Bill, but and she told me who should be my linebacker.
Yeah, I don't think it's getting into anything football related.
Well, as you said, though, she interrupted him on football questions.
Yeah, but I don't think she's sitting in there when he's with his coaches talking about recruits in their transfer portals.
Fair enough. No,
that
that's
was
fine.
her with no one around.
Yeah.
In an interview setting.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So I don't think any influence on specific football related things inside.
All right, but let's just say you're the front office of the Giants.
I already think that it was already sideways.
What was?
The league and Bill Belichick, and the fact he didn't get a job and Atlanta pulled out.
Okay. Atlanta pulled out because obviously Arthur Blank listened to what Bob Kraft had to say. It sounds like by every count, Blank was going to hire him, and then he listened to his buddy and didn't hire him.
I don't think this will be the exact reason why he wouldn't get a job, but it adds to, I think, NFL franchises saying, hey, all right, we'll be looking other places. Then you go, well, why did Pete Carroll get back? Because Pete Carroll is just a good
age.
golly, chewing on my gum. Here we go, guys.
Same age, right? Yeah. Same age dude, right? 72, 73, 74, right in that, right? So, no, I agree with you. But he doesn't bring – this is weird, man. And again, it's not weird to me. I mean, yeah, is it is it different that a 73-year-old dude is dating a 24-year-old seemingly hot Instagram star? I say seemingly hot. She's very attractive, and that's kind of what's made her a star, right? And I don't know her, but you're starting to get glimpses of her. And if she's that savvy, I mean, she's got to know what she came off looking like, doesn't she? And again, I'm playing a stereotype here. You can tell me if I'm wrong. But Instagram stars tend to really care about what public persona is, right? What people think about them, right? Mm-hmm. She's got to go be reading all these reviews and going looking back and realizing, damn, that was a bad look.
No, so I just saw this posted as we're discussing it.
Yeah.
She's been on social media reposting people attacking the interviewer.
So she's taking the Trump approach, going the other way. She's just turning it around and saying the interview was wrong. He was wrong for asking how because that question was so egregious.
Yeah. So that's what pretty much people saying, yeah, that's right. He should
never have asked that question.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. All right. 505-246-0610. Do we have a sweet deal? I think we do, don't we? Maybe we do. Kenny Thomas is going to be here coming up in about 45 minutes from now. We'll talk NBA with him. Hey, who's watching your home when you're not there? I travel a bit. I make sure IPS is watching my home, and they can watch yours as well. It's affordable private security in an era where break-ins are on the rise. Officer shortage continues to be an issue, and International Protective Service responds to alarms at properties which they monitor within 5 to 7 minutes. That protects you and what you've worked so hard to build. Look, you've worked really hard to build your home, your business, protect your family. IPS protects my home. Gives me peace of mind, my neighbors as well. They provide standing guards. If you need eyes on your property around the clock, they will install alarms and camera systems. They've got a state-of-the-art facility monitoring those cameras 24/7. It all raises the level of security around your home or business. So make sure you're proactive. Don't wait to be a victim. Then it's too late. Call IPS. I understand you can't prevent all the crime, but if you got no protection, you're much more likely to be victimized. The number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Then a guy from Sports Illustrated on, and he was like, it's just weird. And none of us will talk about it publicly, but I'll say it, because the conversations you have about it are different privately than they are publicly. But it's not right. And I'm like, well, whatever. I understand that a lot of people feel that way. And I don't want anybody to tell me who to love, and I'm not going to tell you who to love. I don't know her motives. People have said to me, well, if it was your daughter, you'd feel differently. And you're right. Yes, you're right, I would. I'm not even going to pretend. Yeah. My daughter was 24 and dating a 73-year-old. Yeah, I would. All right. Does that make me a hypocrite? Fine. I don't care. I just don't. It doesn't bother me that he's dating her, she's dating him. But watching the interaction and watching a dude that we have all watched for 30 years or so be a certain person, a completely in control person, and then watching somebody else do that. I mean, it's alarming in some respects. That's
That
all.
changes the conversation. This is nothing about who Bill Belichick is dating, how old she is. It was the fact in a CBS interview, she did all that.
Yeah.
And became the story. It wasn't, oh, look, it's Bill Belichick. And, of course, Bill would be wearing his old Navy sweatshirt torn because of his background and his dad coaching and all this. And he was there to tell stories about football. It became about her weird way of controlling Bill Belichick.
Yeah, text line says, my question, why is the UNC coach wearing Navy gear, torn Navy gear? Fair
That
enough.
was
Totally.
his dad coached at Navy, and I was in
So
the
that
book.
was his dad's old shirt or something. All right.
And they were doing the interview at Navy.
Do you think she just thought none of this would make air? Like it was all behind the scenes and
No,
nothing
I
would get
don't-
out?
When
'Cause
you
how often
when
do
you
we
act like that, you're acting like that because you believe like
You're
I'm
in
in
control.
control of the room. Like
Yeah.
you don't like it, so too bad. Type attitude. You're not thinking like, oh my gosh,
Well-
it's gonna get out. Of course, it's gonna get out.
But
a
it's
CBS
not,
interview.
It's not often we see the behind the scenes stuff in these interviews, right? It's usually pretty cleanly edited stuff. I wonder if she just thought it wouldn't get out. Do you still have her socials up where you said she's turning it and blaming the interviewer? Because I kind of thought about this last night as I was putting this all together. And I'm thinking, for somebody who is so concerned, so deeply concerned about public image, and again, I don't pretend to know her, but as an Instagram influencer, you are concerned about public image. That's just part of that's part of what that is. And so she's got to be just feels horrible that she came off so, pick your word, right? And what you're saying is no, she doesn't think she
Why would
did.
she feel horrible? Dude, we've all been around people like that. Where
So you don't think her public persona is taking a hit?
she doesn't care. She doesn't feel horrible. She's acting that way because she thinks she can do that. Like she is the person in position to act that way, and she's in the right. And we've all been around people like that in situations or rooms that act a certain way. And they're like, oh man, I wonder how they feel. They don't care. Like they're acting that way because they think that's the way to act. They think they can do that. And then, so this is Stuart Mandel that I saw pop up.
Who's Stuart Mandel?
College football writer for the Athletic.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So Jordan Hudson on X, not on X at all.
She's not on X?
Well, she's used it 5 times in the last 6 years. In
So
terms of
that's
posting
like
something.
never. Yeah.
However, in the last day or so, she's been retweeting, whether it's real or fake accounts, about people attacking the interviewer and saying, she was in the right. Yeah, she should absolutely stand up and not let someone make a mockery of their relationship or not, dictate the narrative. And so she just spent the weekend retweeting people that are saying, yeah, she did the right thing, interjecting herself in there and making sure that no one twists it.
Well, again, what did he do wrong? I'm listening because I'm not going to pretend I saw the whole interview. By the way,
All you can do is just say, "Hey, where'd you guys meet?" I'm saying, we're not talking about my personal life right now. It's like, all right, cool. On to the next.
yeah,
one.
and
But
she
then it
jumps
just
in.
came
We're
to
not talking about that, right? That's kind of what the whole thing is.
But it wasn't just that, which we're finding out. It was many more instances where she jumped in during the interview, which is why now it's a thing, and people are discussing of how weird an interview it was.
So TMZ is saying that, if you care, that they met on a flight from Boston to Florida in 2021. They bonded over a discussion about her philosophy project in college. At the time of their meeting, she was 20, he was 68. Okay, it's completely plausible to me. I have been on planes, period. I've been on many planes. I've sat next to many people. I've had many conversations, older people, younger people. I've sat next to college-age young ladies, and we've talked about their schools and their project. Like, okay. Now, I haven't dated any of them coming out of that, but that doesn't mean, What?
I was going to say something about an owner going to Florida, but I'm not going to get into that.
Fair enough. But I love the fact that he was flying commercial and he met her on a plane.
And I know this one, this is TMZ, but we're also talking about someone that is in the conversation for greatest coach of all time.
Yeah.
That feels like wants to chase the all-time record for wins in an NFL season and would need to get back into the NFL, and is at North Carolina. And you thought, all right, superstar Bill at North Carolina, new era of college football, this is going to work. And just things like this add to that kind of anti-Bill Belichick sentiment that really started to pick up once he left New England.
Yeah, it's just watch it, man, because it's going to be interesting, and something's going to come out here in the next couple of weeks, and it's kind of his move now, right? If this is what's the over-encompassing thing for Bill Belichick, what he's trying to build at North Carolina. Let's see how this plays out, because this is something to watch now, and they've made it something to watch. It's on them. Like, I don't know how interested you were in UNC football and what he's doing, but I think you kind of are more now. And it's going to be interesting watching that. UNC plays TCU in their first game. Remember TCU when they were here for the bowl game? Last year they opened up the season against Dion in one of those, and Shador in one of those highly promoted games, and this will be the same. I want you to put a stopwatch on how often Jordan Hudson is shown. Who will get more screen time? Jordan Hudson in the first UNC football game or Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl? That's a good bet, isn't it?
Oh, Hudson.
Right? Or do you put an over-under how much time she will get? But she will get more screen time than Taylor Swift gets. All right, we got tickets to give away. 505-246-0610. That's the phone number. 505-246-0610. 4 tickets to go see the Isotopes and the Tacoma Rainiers. This game is on the 14th of May. 4 tickets to caller number 4. Right now, 505-246-0610. You'll get those tickets courtesy of your good friend, J.J. Buck at 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Do you know your number? No, not your credit score number, not your sleep number bed, but your retirement.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cat.
Conversation. I just got a text. It's cringy and it's weird, and that's fine. I responded this way, and Jid, you tell me if this is too much, but I said it didn't bother me, although it's uncomfortable. There's a term, and you've all heard it, and maybe this is only part of the term, but he's whipped. Like it almost feels like he's whipped a little bit, right? And I think we've all been whipped. The difference is most of us were whipped when we were a lot younger than 73 years old, right? We're young. You're in your teens or your 20s, and you're whipped, and you kind of, okay, dear, yeah, whatever, because, well, you were just, there's that. And that's why this is so, weird, because it's such a personality turn for a guy who seemingly would put up with no crap. And secondly, if you're UNC, you're concerned, right? Like what's going on? I said, love who you love, and you're going to tell me if it was my daughter, I'd feel differently. And you're right. I absolutely would. And Lars said, if Addison was dating Bill Belichick, Hefe, you'd be trying to get North Carolina in your bowl game. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, would you blame me? And you would come. Well, Lars wouldn't come because it would probably be too early or too late or too cold or too Saturday or too whatever. But yeah, maybe. But it's what it watching that was so weird. Watching the excerpts, it's like watching a dude who's whipped, knows it's uncomfortable, knows it's weird, knows everybody's looking at him to do something, but she's kind of calling the shots here. And you remember that feeling when you were 19 years old or 22 years old or whatever it was? Where it's like, oh, all right, guy. I mean, like, JJ, what'd you say to me? She walks out of the room and your buddies are going like, are you all right, dude? Like, you okay?
Yeah. Is everything good?
No, we're good, man. No, she's cool. She's cool. She just, all right, I'm a little worried about you because that ain't you. That's what I'm watching. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. This is your dude. What's up?
This is great and vastly entertaining subject matter. There's multiple vectors here. Let's address one at a time from the crusher's perspective. By no means am I a check aficionado, but I have intently watched him over the past 25 years. One thing that I think that the one methodology I used in the NFL, and you've alluded to this in press conferences, it's a trait that highly intelligent people do. Like at press conferences, when they're asked questions, they don't engage. They'll play dumb. And it's like, hey, it's not worth my time to argue with idiots, right? Now, I'm not calling people or the press, but if he feels like it's not worth his mental energy, he'll play dumb. And to validate that, to JJ's point earlier, when he was on television and personal testimonies from players and other coaches, he's very lively and entertaining and jovial. Another compartmentalized very well. So that's a lot of information, but I think regarding to press conferences, he absolutely played dumb, and he wouldn't want to engage. And it's almost kind of saying, hey, you're not worth my time. You're not worth my mental energy.
Yeah, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm going to give you the most bland answer.
Yeah, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, I'm just here so I don't get fined, right, in some capacity. Now, the second thing is this woman is at 24 and almost 25. Her brain's not fully developed. But the thing I thought of regarding the interview was there's pre-interview meetings, and they may have said, hey, our relationship is off bounds. That's a big assumption, right? But the correlation I'll draw on is when Richard Sherman went on with Skip Bayless, the pre-meeting, and Sherman's people said, hey, we're here to promote a product. We're not going to talk about this. Then Richard Sherman gets on and completely lambasts Skip Bayless, and it caught him so off guard, he didn't know how to respond. The reason I know that's valid is because they both talked about it and they corroborated the story. And Richard Sherman kind of apologized. He said, yeah, I kind of came from left field. So what the public thought was, he nailed Skip Bayless and took him apart, completely off script from the pre-meeting, and he brought in a subject matter that nobody expected. So there may be some of that. They may have said, hey, our relationship is off topic, and I saw excerpts where when they talked about how did you guys meet, she immediately shut it down. Now, whether or not they're that savvy, who knows, right? But that's another vector. But I think at this point, at 73 years old, just because I'm getting more chronologically advanced, I don't think Belichick cares. I think he's just in it to win it, right? He's the greatest coach arguably in the NFL, and I don't know if he has any intent of getting back. And in college, he's like, hey, if I can come in, make some money, get the program, and get some wins, and date this young hot girl, and she can improve my social media image, then so be it. And wherever it lies, I just don't think he cares. quite honestly.
I'm
so
not sure I believe
thanks
that.
for letting me kind of unwrap those thoughts, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing to be wrong.
Yeah, who knows?
But I think there's validity in each one of them.
Yeah. All right, man. No, appreciate you. I think there's part of him that cares. What does he care more about? Look, I believe that he likes, loves, whatever this young lady, and I'm sure she has reciprocating feelings for him, and so that plays into it. And everybody wants him to respond a certain way, and he's got to go home to that and deal with it and whatever. To say he doesn't care, I'm not sure. Now, does he? Is his overriding sentiment, what I care about, what people think? No, probably not. Probably not. It's something, man. All right, Kenny's going to be with us. Kenny Thomas will be here coming up at 9 o'clock. That's in about 17 minutes from now. We'll kick it with Kenny, talk about the playoffs last night and moving forward. When we come back, something happened in baseball. It's a record in modern National League Baseball, dating all the way back to 1901. I love that stuff. That went down last night. It's got a little local flair to it, so we'll get into that. I hope you don't have plans this week. And if you do, we got them for you. Change them. Twin Peaks is throwing a Cinco celebration you're not going to want to miss. From April 29, which is today, all the way through Cinco de Mayo. Enjoy festive specials on tequila, cervezas, cocktails all week long. It's bold, it's flavorful, and it is only at Twin Peaks. And May isn't just for margaritas, it's National Hamburger Month. Go try Twin Peaks legendary burgers, seasoned, smashed, and seared to perfection. It's great drinks, it's great foods, it's even better company, and it's all happening over at Twin Peaks. And voting is live now for Miss Twin Peaks 2025, Miss Popular. Head to 2025misstwinpeaks.com. Now through June 9th, you can cast your vote for your favorite Twin Peaks girl and then raise a glass May 17. That's World Whiskey Day, JJ. Try a new favorite or stick with one of your favorite classics. Served over a crystal clear ice ball, of course. And if you want something exclusive, ask about Twin Peaks rare bourbons and barrel selects available on limited supply. Great whiskey, even better company. It's all waiting for you at Twin Peaks.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Okie. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel.
We're made to be broken. Not all records are great. Rockies tied a record yesterday. They tied a record for the worst start to a season by any National League team in the modern baseball era. It is the worst start ever for a National League team through 28 games. That dates back to 1901. Congratulations, boys and girls. Rockies are 4-24. They lose to the Braves last night. 6-3. Got off to a good start. JJ, I was watching early, flipping around. The basketball game was a rout. The hockey game was an intermission. Flipped over, watched Little Rockies. 3-run home run early. I'm like, oh, look at that. Your club's up 3-0. And that was it. They lose 6-3. They are, you start going through it, and it's crazy. The first team to lose 24 of their first 28 since the 03 Tigers. Only 2 National League teams had previously lost 23 of their first 28. Now it's 24. Rockies are on pace to win 23 games. That's insane, dude. It's insane.
And to put that in context,
yeah,
the White Sox
last year,
who were awful and just jokes of sport, won 41 games. Almost double what the Rockies are on pace to win this year. And what if I told you, Jeff, that March and April right now are the easiest part of the Rockies schedule? To date, the Rockies rank 20th in strength of schedule, opponent winning percentage. The future opponents on the schedule, so they go from 49% winning percentage up to 54, giving them the toughest remaining slate in Major League Baseball.
Remaining the rest of the way for the next 4 months. Rockies,
they're going to get better.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure they are. Rockies have not won consecutive games this season. What's today, the 29th? They haven't won since April 20th. They've trailed in 26 of their 28 games. But there's tonight, boys and girls.
I don't know how this team ever made it to the World Series. Like, that year is unbelievable. There's a reason there's one Major League Baseball team up and down the Rocky Mountains. You can't do it. You can't win in Albuquerque anymore. You can't win in Colorado.
So it's because of the altitude is what you're saying.
Don't think the front office and ownership are helping at all.
Well,
get them back on track. But.
Look, it's culture, right? I mean, it just is. And you can sit here and go back and look through the history of trades. You know what spun it? And you know this way more intimately than me. The Tulo, I see going back to the Tulowitzki move. And it almost felt like that was when it just kind of snapped and they said, you know what, bleep it. Whenever we get good players, we're just going to sell them. We're going to get rid of them. You had Nolan Arenado, who was the best third baseman in the game at that time. You got rid of him in your prime. Troy Tulowitzki was in his prime. He was terrific. And it was like, well, let's just get rid of him for a bag of balls. The farm system hasn't been good. You haven't drafted well. I mean, you would think with all these crappy seasons, you'd have a bunch of high picks and you'd have studs up and down the wall. You'd have, Bregmans and all the right high picks and Skeens, but you don't. Yeah, dude. Sell the team, make billions. Don't have to worry about this crap. Let someone else fix it because you're not going to. Congratulations, though. I mean, records are nice, aren't they?
Right. You'll be remembered.
Kenny Thomas due to be in next. We'll kick it with Kenny, the former Lobo great. 11 years in the NBA. Get into the NBA playoffs. What a weird night last night. 4 more tonight. It's the opening drive. He's JJ Buck. I'm Jeff Symbieta on 95.9 FM. An AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Playoffs last night, 2 completely different stories. You got playoff Jimmy, and you got what's become of Heat culture. Playoff Jimmy was good in the second half, really in the fourth quarter. Bad butt is what it was, right? I mean, bruised glute, is that better? And tailbone and whatever. 109-106, Warriors are up 3-1 on the Rockets. And then Heat culture took a beating. Got beat by 55. Eliminated, swept by the Cavs. 138-83. Good morning, boys and girls. Thanks for being with us on a Tuesday opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. We are joined in studio by former Lobo All-America, 11-year NBA veteran, and businessman at large and entrepreneur. That's my French after being in Europe. Entrepreneur. He's Kenny Thomas.
That's awesome.
What's up, Kenny Thomas?
Sounds like some TV stuff. Man.
What is?
What you just said.
Entrepreneur?
Yeah. It sounds very French-like.
Does it sound like very French-like?
It really does. Yeah, you went over there for a week and look, you come back, you act like you know something.
I should have worn a little beret or something.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. How you living?
Man, you look refreshed.
Do I?
Yeah. Good for you. You work a lot, man. Good for you.
Now I need a vacation, though.
Hey, now you need another one?
Well,
yeah, right.
This one was like...
Knowing you might be going to Vegas here soon.
I'm home for a few weeks.
Oh, see, he's going to Vegas, you guys.
No, it's not Vegas.
More meetings.
I got meetings, but probably not in Vegas. It might be on a coast somewhere.
Oh, you're going
because
somewhere nice.
A lot of those meetings tend to be on the coast.
It's not by Xavier, is it?
It's not by the coast, man.
Man, you laughed, though.
What coast is that?
You laughed, though.
The coast of the Ohio River?
The wrong one.
All right. Let's start with the good last night. 109-106. Warriors beat the Rockets. They're up 3-1. The 6th, well, I say the 6th seed, the 7th seed. I said it earlier, 6-3. I was wrong. The 7th seed is up on the 2. Yeah. I know the Rockets are near and dear to your heart, but I think you called the Warriors in this. And look, there's something to playoff Jimmy. And JJ and I had this conversation earlier. There's guys who are good players, and I don't know where you put Jimmy Butler as a player regular season. He's really good.
He's really good.
But then there's a different level in the playoffs. There's Eli Manning. There's Robert Ory. There's Derek Jeter. This dude
Big
is
shot
just
Rob.
different when it matters.
He's always been that way.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's so phenomenal how he left the organization to where he helped it to excel to where they are now, which is not good because of what just happened by the Cavs, right? Blowing them out by 50-something. You kind of saw that coming. It was just a matter,
55 points?
No. Not 55 points from the standpoint of them possibly getting swept or not winning a game at all perspective because they just weren't ready for the Cavs, right?
We'll get there.
But it's man, the way that the Warriors have came out and demonstrated how so many times they're just a clutch squad that knows how to share the ball and play the right way. You talk about Jimmy Buckets. He gets buckets in the right way. He was in there playing against Şengün and guarding him in the post, and it was a physical opportunity, but it's the way that the Rockets are not able to execute at the free throw line, man. They shot like 58, 59% going into the last like 5 minutes. They missed maybe about 15 free throws and maybe about 5 of those down the stretch. And you can't win games against a Warriors team that's been there, that's done it. And obviously you'd expect the Rockets to come out and play better, but just down the stretch, they just weren't able to execute. But the Rockets were aggressive down the end. You had Thompson that was playing some good ball, but they just couldn't get it done.
19 to 31 at the free throw line for the Rockets, so they missed 12 free throws, as opposed to 20 for 22 for the Warriors.
Yeah.
And Jimmy hits the two late. What did you play with a dude like that was just a different?
Oh yeah.
And I'm saying, I don't know where you put Jimmy Butler is from. When we talk about the best players in the game,
I know where you're going.
right? We have these conversations, and we're like, this guy. Jimmy Butler's never in your top 5 or 10. He's not. But when playoffs, it's different. Did you play with a dude who was just different in the postseason?
Ron Artest.
Is that right?
Oh, my bad, Ron. Meta.
Yeah. But he was Ron Artest back then.
He was just different.
Yeah.
I played with him. I played with him when he was Meta too in Sacramento. It's just they're just grown. I mean, they're just built differently. When I think of Meta, I think of like how Kobe wanted that dog on his team. That's why Meta ended up winning a championship, right?
With the Lakers.
This is the same thing by inserting Jimmy Butler into this whole different dynamic. Hey, Draymond Green doesn't have to necessarily score, but Draymond Green is going to be Draymond Green. He's going to get in your head. He's going to do certain things to help them win. If it's a matter of moving the ball, the way the Warriors move the ball is downright phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that Steve Kerr has developed that squad into believing in each other, and it just doesn't have to be Steph Curry. Steph Curry, he had 14 shots last night, and he only had about 12 points or something like that. No, 17 points maybe.
Steph Curry had 17 on 6 of 13 shoots.
Yeah, 12 shots. It's amazing how Jimmy Butler just came out and just took that game over, and he took the right shots.
He's Kenny Thomas. He's in the studio. We're kicking with Kenny here on the Sports Animal.
I know we discussed the growth of the Rockets, and for them to be in this series, what do you see, though, from this team, especially the young pieces? Thompson, the athleticism, Şengün, Green, who got benched late in the game, but what these guys can take from this series.
Well, it's a lesson learned, right? Obviously,
it's not over yet.
I was about to say it's not over. Whenever a team goes up 3-1, I've seen it's like 95% they end up winning the series, right? But it's a matter of them going back to Houston and trying to still develop and get better and show that you can get a win at home. Get this win at home, and then I feel like it's anybody's game, but it's going to be hard to go back there and win at Golden State in Game 6. But Thompson, man, I really like him. He's a very athletic young kid, very aggressive, plays to what he's able to do well, which is attack the rim. Şengün, I was a little surprised how they were allowing him to bring the ball up and do what he wanted to do, and he was creating opportunities, and he was actually finishing. But down the stretch, there could have been opportunities to where Şengün could have probably finished around the basket, especially being how big he was from that perspective. But whatever the coach has done with that young Rockets team has been very, very good. But you got to keep in mind, when you don't have a backcourt that's not consistent with Green, you're not going to win. When Van Vliet just has his biggest game this last game, where has he been the first 3 games?
25 last
You know what I
night.
mean? So, yeah.
You brought up Steve Kerr. And JJ and I had this conversation yesterday. I don't know that he'll ever get the credit for being a great coach, but this is probably, what did you say, the 4th iteration of the Warriors, right? Pre-Durant, post-Durant, now this one.
Yeah.
And they continue. Now, granted, the centerpiece has been Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And you can tell me, well, he's got great players. Every great coach has had great players. He just won a gold medal. He got heat for rotation. I don't know. The dude won a gold medal.
Yeah.
I think he's a phenomenal coach, and it feels like he's pushed the right buttons, the right combinations, brings in the right dudes. Just your thoughts on him as a coach and where he'll fit historically, because what's he won 4, JJ? But I mean, when you think of the Jacksons, the Arbachs, the Popoviches, whoever, in my opinion, I think when it's all said and done, and probably by now, he should be in that conversation.
Oh, my goodness. JJ, what's up, man, by the way? How many has Steve Kerr? Is it 3 or 4?
I think it's 4.
4, right?
Yeah.
And how many did Steve Kerr win with Michael Jordan? 3, 4?
3 or 4.
Yeah,
I mean,
something
he's
like
got
that,
a
right?
collection of rings. Yeah.
I mean, just that right there alone. Like, how is this man not in the conversations of being
Is he in the
in
Hall of
that
Fame?
elite? That's a good question.
He should be, right?
He should, especially with what he's doing as a coach
Well,
right now.
100%, just as a coach.
And see, man, when you have a guy like Steve Kerr that played his role with the Bulls and came out and was very dynamic and knew what he did best was to be a sniper and knock down shots. That's it. And then you're able to take that knowledge that you're able to develop and learn from Phil from the standpoint of coaching that Bulls team and then being able to take it and coach the Warriors. How do you, what he's doing, he's allowing, well, what I see Steve Kerr's doing, he's allowing Steph Curry to be Steph Curry, which is a whole different dynamic, a different world. And he's allowing those other guys to play within themselves. And you could just tell how free they're playing. They're playing so free. And if they mess up, they mess up and they keep it moving. So I really like that dynamic.
I would contend, and JJ, I don't know what you think of this, maybe one of the most difficult players to coach / manage of this generation would be Draymond.
Absolutely.
And I think the way he is managed, I don't want to say controlled, but coached Draymond. And there's been times where they could have let him go, right? Draymond's been up a number of times. They could have let him go free agency. That in its own right, like you say, let Curry be Curry. Yeah, you let Jordan be Jordan. You let Kobe be Kobe. You let Curry be Curry. But the way he's managed Draymond, and those two have been the core now that Clay's gone.
Yeah.
And to watch them still here, and it looks like they're going to get through. And I don't know if you think they're a contender to be a championship team, but to have this iteration again, to me, he's relatively brilliant.
Not only are they a contender, I feel like they can win the whole thing with them being at the age that they are right now in their mid-30s. Their core starters are in their mid-30s right now, right? And then,
well, 2 of them are. The rest of them are pretty well. And Jimmy,
Draymond,
the 3 of them.
and
you're right.
And they're and Curry, they're in their mid-30s.
You're right. No, you're
right. And then, but the way that they're playing within themselves and knowing that they have the other weapons that surround him. Buddy Hield, great addition if he's knocking down shots. And he stays within himself and just stay knocking down shots. Put the ball on the floor, hey, there's probably a liability there.
I mean, how about the way they found Podzinski?
Yes. Yes.
Where'd that come from?
Well, where'd he come from? He was a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a lottery pick.
It's kind of crazy. You're right. No, he was out of Santa Clara.
But he's playing so free, right, JJ?
Well, the thing with Steve Kerr, it's Steph Curry, as Jeff is saying, he's such a Curry. It's Steph Curry player. You don't realize that this game, Buddy Hield into the lineup.
Yeah.
And you look at the game log, and there's some games where Hield wasn't necessarily in the rotation, but all of a sudden in this series, the last 2 games, he goes from playing 15, 16 minutes in the first 2 games to 29 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, you have to make plays when you're on the floor, but it's those adjustments. It's all right, Post is going to start last game. He didn't start this game. We're going to put Buddy Hield in there. And like these things that Steve Kerr is doing are working. And it goes to the fact he is an underrated coach in the NBA. And by the way, he's a 5-time NBA champion. as a player.
As a 5 as a player.
Wow.
So he's got 9 rings?
Wow.
And yeah, it's
insane.
His coach, and the thing with me when we talk about a Phil Jackson or Steve Kerr, like, you have to manage those elite players. It's not easy coaching.
No,
I totally agree.
One of the best players in the game.
That's the hardest thing, being able to manage personalities.
Well,
man.
look before Phil Jackson. When Doug Collins was the coach of the Bulls, it didn't work, right? I mean, there's something to that.
I'm a big Doug Collins fan.
All right.
Hey, let me tell you guys something. The fact that when a Steph Curry is on the floor, somebody's always trying to guard him, and then this is where the confusion happened, and so many guys are open. You see so many guys cutting to the basket and getting so many different opportunities because he's commanding like 2 guys at least at a time on.
I think there's a lot to that. And when we come back, I want to talk about another great coach of this generation.
Kenny Thomas.
A different one. who got the ass whooped last night. That wasn't you, was it? No. But I want to get into the Heat and how that happened and how demoralizing. But it just goes to show, I don't care how good a coach you are, you got to have players. Yeah. We're going to get into that, and I want to get into what happened over the weekend. I want your thoughts on the call at the end of the Knicks-Pistons game, the reversal at the end of the Lakers game against the Wolves. Kenny Thomas is in studio. We're kicking it with the former Lobo great on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
You're listening.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit
Thomas, former Lobo great. 11 years in the NBA, is with us in studio. JJ Buck, I'm Jeff Symbieta. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. All right, we just went through the Warriors and the Rockets. When I'm watching an NBA game and they go to the network show at halftime, and Ernie Johnson says, this is the worst game I've ever watched. The Heat got beat by 55 points at home in an elimination game. Dude, Charles Barkley said they quit. Yeah. He said, I don't like to use the word quit or choke. They quit. You watch that game. You tell me. You know it better than I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like that. Did that team quit last night?
Well, they quit in the game before in Miami.
When they lost by 40.
Yeah, they were beat or destroyed in that last game, right? In Miami, it just seemed like the effort and the energy wasn't there, and they were done. It was a matter of Cleveland just going home and making it official. And there's no better feeling than to do it at home.
Miami. Yeah, they did it in Miami.
You know what I mean? I thought
that was it. No, that was in Miami last night.
Oh, so they swept them?
No, they beat. Yeah, that was a sweep.
Okay, my bad.
They beat them in Miami.
I don't know why I thought it was 5.
No, that was in their building, in front of their fans. They got paddled at home. And it just, to me, it shows, like, Eric Spoelstra's a great coach.
Yeah.
I think after Pop, he's the longest tenured coach in the league.
And he just renewed. He's not going anywhere.
No, he's not going anywhere. I'm not worried about him getting fired. But it just shows I've never seen a good coach without good players. I mean, it's a roster, and that roster isn't good enough.
No. I mean, especially when you eliminate Jimmy Butler, who's gonna replace that?
Who wanted out of there, right? So badly, man.
And badly, shoot, that's an understatement. Yeah. I think that was a power struggle between him and Pat Riley, right? Which just randomly just happened. But hey, sometimes these things happen, and people have to just move on. And look at what's happening with Jimmy Butler.
Was that series more about the Heat or about the Cavs?
It was about the Cavs.
Okay,
Cavs for sure.
Why?
Because they're building right now, with Atkins over there, which is I feel like he's an established coach, and we've got to keep in mind JB, that what he's doing over there in Detroit, how he put that Cavs squad back together, and then ends up losing an opportunity, right?
Yeah,
so
but look what he did to Detroit.
Yeah, what Detroit's doing right now, they're such a young squad too, so that's going to be an interesting situation, but. Donovan, man, in Cleveland, like they're playing some really good ball and sharing the ball well. And then you got Mobley, that was the player of the year, so that's good too. Just got an extra $50 million. Good for him.
The Magic, I know you like them going in to the playoffs. I think next year that's a top 4 seed, maybe even a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. But how they're playing the Celtics in this series, what have you seen from them?
Well, I've seen a young team. Kind of like a OKC team, like a couple years ago, from the standpoint of their building, and they have a lot of growth. But I feel like they're missing pieces in the backcourt, to where you got Wagner and those guys playing outside of their whole comfort zone on the perimeter a little bit more. So I feel like if they can just keep the core of those couple of guys, Anthony, and then the brothers, and then building off of that, and then you got the young fellow over there that's playing some really good ball. But it's Boston. Boston's been there. It's just a matter of time. But Orlando had a chance when Tatum was out. So the game before last, I think. So
Over the weekend, we saw some stuff. Officiating really got into it. Your thoughts at the end? The Knicks are going to go home. They're home tonight. They're up 3-1. They can close out. We're just talking about the Pistons and what JB Bickerstaff has done there. I love the way Detroit plays. I love the way they play. I think defensively they are dogs. They were in a position to win a game. Tim Hardaway launches a 3 out of the corner. He got fouled. Hart fouls him. The officials admitted afterwards. You ever been in a locker room? I don't know if they did 2-minute reports back when you were there.
They didn't.
But all right, so would it piss you off more that the officials came back and said, "Yeah, we should have called a foul," than having no report at all?
Yeah, like what's the point? Like when I started thinking about or hearing about this last 2-minute report or whatever, like thinking it's going to change the whole dynamic of how the outcome came once they admitted, okay, it should have been called. So what happens? You don't get any points for it. You don't get anything.
You get an I'm sorry.
Yeah, or a pat on the back, right? Yeah. Well, what me and you were talking about at the break is like one of those things. Why not have something like the NFL to where the last 2 minutes, to where certain things go into review, and it's not up to the 3 referees that are actually calling the game to where, hey, they don't have to be biased. But why not have somebody else or the front office put a couple guys together or one person to where they can evaluate and not have a biased opinion to a certain extent?
JJ, I think even in that situation, if you went by NFL rules, there would be nothing called, right? They can only review calls that were made.
NFL doesn't review every play.
No, they
like a fumble, first down, things like at this point in time, if you want to keep your challenges, keep them to the end of the game. Don't use it when your player's freaking out with 7 minutes left in the first quarter
and waving his finger in the air.
Because the one thing with basketball, I don't want every possession in the final 2 minutes reviewed. No, thank you. If there's a challenge, use it. It already takes 38 minutes to play 2 minutes.
He's not wrong, dude.
I totally agree, but maybe put some parameters on what is reviewed and what isn't.
Well, they have parameters on it.
They have that.
Yeah, they have parameters.
You challenge whatever you want if you have a challenge.
Yeah.
If it goes, so an out of bounds play, you can look at it.
The case in point is the Minnesota-Laker game, where Minnesota at the end of the game had a challenge left with, what was it, JJ, 6 seconds left? They challenged it, and they went back and reviewed it, and they saw LeBron foul it, and they called the foul, which is unlike the NFL. In the NFL, you can't go back and call an infraction that you didn't call. You're just going back to see if the call was correct. They went back and reviewed it. The NBA has those parameters, but because Minnesota had their challenge left, they were able to go. The foul was called. They hit the 2 free throws. They're up by 3. They win the game.
Because what I don't want to see is if you're saying, all right, let's review everything. It's the mindset of NFL or football. They're like, oh, you could call holding on every play. You could call a foul on every single possession in the basketball game. So I don't want them looking at every single possession.
I totally agree. That's fair.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to keep in mind, when to back up what JJ said, when those star players are like 7 minutes telling the coach to review it, you're showing up the coach, and you kind of have to a certain extent.
No, you don't have to. You don't.
But I'm telling you right now, that pressure is coming from that coach.
That's fine, but you got to know I need a damn review when the game's on the line.
I totally
not
agree.
When there's 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
I totally agree with you.
All right, the Lakers series is crazy. 2 things on this. Let's start here. No substitutions by J.J. Redick in the second half. So the Lakers played 5 dudes. Mm-hmm. I keep hearing they're an old team. They're not. 2 guys are older. Well, 1 guy's older. LeBron's older. Everybody else is in their 20s. I don't know if fatigue played into it or not. Your thoughts on that? Look, you've played the game at that level. They had 2 days off or 3 days off afterwards. Your thoughts on the substitution pattern? Obviously, they lose, so it doesn't work.
Well, obviously, J.J. Redick was trying to win the game. And what do? You keep your best guys on the floor. It comes down to instincts and a coach making a decision from the standpoint of how the flow of the game is going. And you guys got to keep in mind, there probably was some conversation with James and Jokic. Not Jokic.
Doncic.
Doncic. Luka. I call him Luka. I don't never say his first name. I can't remember.
That is his first name.
Gee, I can't remember it. But I can't pronounce it. My bad.
All right.
But it's one of those things to where there probably was something there. But Luka is a guy that needs to get in shape from the standpoint to where it doesn't show as much. It wouldn't show as much of how bad it was from the standpoint of them being tired. LeBron James is 40-plus years old, and he's still out there playing on a high level, and it's going off of the base.
All right, so let me ask you this. He doesn't score down the stretch. I thought LeBron defensively was terrific down the stretch. I thought he had a steal. He had 2 block shots. He also took that deep 3 that missed. He's the one who threw the inbounds pass away. They had the ball with 36 seconds to go, down by 1. Yeah. He's the one who threw the inbounds pass that got stolen, which I thought, JJ, was the biggest play of that whole game right there, because it just, Minnesota got the ball and that was that possession. I don't know. Was he great down the stretch, or was he the reason they got beat down the stretch? Because then by the way, Minnesota forced the ball out of his and Luka's hands and forced Austin Reeves, who is a really good player, to take the final shot.
Yeah, and he was the X factor, and I've been saying it. Austin Reeves is, right? And hey, LeBron James is LeBron James, man. That man's played 20-something years, and he's still playing on a high level. You can pick apart what LeBron James did and what he didn't do, right? And I'm not saying I'm a LeBron James fan like that.
Yeah.
I think he's great, but I'm not saying I'm a fan. But it's one of those things. We can go tit for tat and say he could have did something better, but you got to keep in mind, Austin Reeves had a good look. Yeah. I feel like he rushed it a little bit, but he had a good look in the corner. And he's making some good money, so he got to knock down shots, especially if they're taking the ball out of Luka and LeBron's hands.
He hit the one right before.
Yeah.
He did. JJ brought this up earlier, and I thought this was good. What'd you call it, the driveway theory? Or the driveway conversation, where when you would play your dad in the driveway one-on-one, and your dad would beat you until the day the kid beats the dad, and now you know the rest of your life that the kid's going to beat the dad, right?
Uh-huh.
And JJ brought it up in regards to the Warriors, that the Warriors are still the dad. They're still holding on, right? The Rockets didn't knock them off. I got a little bit of the driveway feeling with Anthony Edwards and LeBron the other day. And Anthony Edwards hits that shot at the end. He's in LeBron's face all day. Am I ready to tell you Anthony Edwards is in the conversation for GOAT? I am not. But did Anthony Edwards maybe surpass LeBron? They got to the conference finals last year, but they didn't go through the Lakers. They didn't go through that dude.
Uh-huh.
If they win this series and they're up 3-1 as Minnesota, they will go through LeBron. Anthony Edwards will go through LeBron. Is that a ceremonial passing of the torch, and having Anthony Edwards pass LeBron right now is, who's a better player?
Whoa, better player.
I didn't say overall in history, currently, like right now, right?
Whoa.
This is a kid surpass it. At some point, the kid beats the dad. I'm a better athlete than the dad.
Well, at this point in time, when LeBron James is at his age, yes. Anthony Edwards is way more athletic.
So was this a passing of the torch moment? And if they get through LeBron, and watching Anthony Edwards take over in the fourth quarter where LeBron didn't score, having Anthony Edwards in his face, chesting him, pushing him, just not backing down. I thought that particular game, how physical he was with LeBron, was him saying, "I am here."
Yeah. Well, okay. When you're saying being physical with LeBron and saying I'm here, I feel like that's been there already.
Okay.
And it's in the playoffs. This comes to the point to where Anthony Edwards is built different. He has a different mindset. Whatever that is, it's assassin, and he doesn't care. And he's made that point since he's been in the league, especially the last couple of years. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's pushing LeBron at half court and the referees are allowing that to happen like 3 or 4 possessions, that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and they're allowing too much.
Stupidest thing on his part.
Anthony Edwards.
But
Anthony Edwards.
He was going to do it until they told him not to do it.
But you can't do that.
But he could until they said don't.
Yeah, until LeBron made a face at the refs like, come on, man, what are you doing? That's still LeBron James. And it's off the ball. It's unnecessary. That's dumb.
But to me, that was, man, I'm here, and I'm in your shirt, and I'm going to be here all day, and I don't give a damn who you are.
And I get it. He's trying to make a point.
Yeah,
he made a point like 3 possessions.
And he did.
And you're feeding off of that point. That is crap.
And he did make the point. And then, I feel like down the stretch, he made the shots, and LeBron didn't.
Oh, LeBron's 40-something years old. That's why Luka's there. Luka's supposed to be the one to make the shots. And he didn't make the shots either, man. He didn't either. So he's going through Luka. He's not necessarily going through LeBron. I'm just kidding. They do guard each other. And the fact that Anthony Edwards is taking it upon himself to guard LeBron.
Yeah, he wants him.
He wants him.
Yeah.
I love that because you got the kid actually trying to knock out the dad.
That's my whole point on the driveway
I
theory.
get it, but he's not there yet.
Right.
And I do see LeBron saying, "Hey, young fella, if you beat us in this series," I do see LeBron saying, "Hey, good luck, because you went through me."
That's right. All right, man. Good to see you. You back on Friday?
Yes, sir.
You playing golf this week?
I don't know yet.
I mean, what's the
Why don't you invite me?
I haven't picked up a golf club in a while.
Why don't you invite me?
I mean, I'm never in town.
You are now.
I am now. He's Kenny Thomas. Find him on all the socials. It's Kenny Thomas NBA. Follow him. He's everywhere. He's an entrepreneur. And he'll be back with us on Friday. JJ and I are back after this. 505-246-0610 is your number to get in. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Tailgate Talk.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. either college or trade.
I appreciate Kenny stopping by. John enjoyed it. John says he's got great knowledge. He does, man. He knows. He's been there. It's like it's a different perspective. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. 505-246-0610. You can get in. You can respond to anything he had to say. What do you think about what he said about the Anthony Edwards and LeBron thing? Like he said, Anthony's not going through LeBron. He's going through Luka. And I'm like, no, that's just not right.
He's not. It's still LeBron,
right? And the fact, I love that Anthony Edwards wants LeBron, that he wants to guard LeBron. And you're going to tell me he's 23 and in his prime and LeBron's 40 and he should be better. Yeah, I'll listen to that. All that's right. But whenever that ceremonial threshold is, and we might be watching it right now or we might not be. I don't know. I mean, LeBron may come back and who knows? But whenever that ceremonial threshold, when did LeBron take over for Kobe? When did Kobe take over from Mike? Right? Was there a moment? Right? And
we never had a Kobe LeBron moment on the big stage.
I guess we never did. No, because Kobe's teams were not very good at the end. Yeah, we never did. But I don't know. That's all I'm saying.
But there's still, you're right, because it's still the narrative of the game. It was, Kobe on the floor with Jordan, or Kobe in an all-star game at the end. And even though it wasn't the Jordan that you expect, like there's this sense of, all right, he's taking over. This is the era. Like him or not, it was the LeBron era with what he put in. And now we're at that point where he's clawing, he's trying to hang on. And there's dudes that are saying, no, this is going to be my time. And, Anthony Edwards is built just like those guys to go and take it.
Yeah. This is interesting. College hoops. And I've been looking, I still don't see anything as far as Aubrey, the point guard from Utah State, making a decision. I'm looking for that. But Sacramento State, remember Mike Bibby? And I should have asked Kenny about this because he and Mike Bibby played together. Sacramento State has hired Shaquille O'Neal as the general manager. Now, his son, Shakir, transferred to Sacramento State in the offseason. They play in the Big Sky.
So he really wasn't hired, but...
I'm sorry, he transferred. Did I say Shakir was hired?
No, Shaq was hired.
Yeah, and Shakir transferred.
But he's just doing it because his son's there. It's an unpaid position.
Right, unpaid role. Unpaid GM. So what does an unpaid GM mean?
So what Sac State is doing is just like thinking that in this era, hype will get you everything. You don't need experience. You just need the name. And you'll be good.
Like Steph Curry's doing at Davidson, like Trae Young's doing at Oklahoma. Like, I think, did Terrence Mann do it at Florida State? Is that who it was? They're attaching their names to their alma mater. And this isn't an alma mater.
I understand that from the GM role.
Yeah.
But from, it's even Mike Bibby. Like Mike Bibby's.
No, Mike Bibby wants to be a coach.
Kind of coached in high school a little bit, and now they're like, okay, let's turn our program around.
Yeah, this is a different story. Mike Bibby's got a coaching job, and he's trying to do it. But good for him. And to your point, it's the name association that's going to potentially make it work. Might get take a couple $100,000 less. $800 is.
And if you're Sacramento State, what are you doing?
Well,
you're trying to
become relevant.
Pump your football program to FBS. You want to be in the pack.
I think that's right.
And so you're like, look, boom, we're throwing money and everything. We got the headlines. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I think all that's absolutely right. Sacramento State was 3-15 in the Big Sky last year. They were 7-25 overall. 3-15 in the Big Sky. You're like, Big Sky, who's that? Montana, Northern Colorado, Portland State, Idaho State, Montana State, Northern Arizona, Idaho, Eastern Washington, Weber State, and them. That's who the Pac-12 may get. By the way, man, I'm hearing a lot of whispers. Pac-12 may make some runs, and I think they're getting to a point where they're going to revisit some conversations they've had previously. And something's got to happen here soon.
Yeah, they need another football playing school to call themselves a conference.
Yeah, and that football playing school's got to notify their conference, by July 1 that they're out. All right. Also today, 4-year extension for George Kittle, the Niners tight end. Actually, they re-signed somebody. How about that? $76.4 million. $40 million guaranteed for George Kittle. He's still top 3 tight end?
Yeah, he still got it.
Who are your
battled through some injuries, but he's still got it.
Who's the best tight end in the game right now? The easy answer is Kelsey, but I'm not sure that's the right answer. I would almost say Brock Bowers might be the most valuable tight end over the next 3 years.
Yes, I think there's two different answers to this.
Well, so I'm not asking you historically best. Kelsey's still really good and really valuable to them, but the most productive, best tight ends in the game let's say you're signing someone for the next 3 years.
Next 3 years, George Kittle's still in that conversation.
All right.
Sam Laporta.
That's my other guy with Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
And Kittle, in terms of right now in that spot, because he's still inline blocker, does that.
Mark Andrews is still really good. They're still, I think Travis Kelce is still really good and valuable. That's a position, man. It almost feels like a plus position, but the really good teams have a really good one. Does that make sense? It's your safety valve for your quarterback. He can block, he can get open, he can catch, he can make plays. You think about receivers, and we never say, we talk about receiving core, and you don't.
Yeah, we never factor in the tight end.
Right, and you should.
Yes, and it's why we saw 2 tight ends go in the first round.
Yeah.
This year, Brock Bowers is the 8th leading receiver in the NFL.
I think Brock Bowers is going to be terrific.
Trey McBride is in that discussion.
Yeah, Trey McBride's got to be
McBride was
the former Colorado State guy at Arizona.
Really good.
Yeah. All right, we'll wrap you up when we get back. 505-246-0610. You still have time to get in. You can email Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. It is the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfasfa.org. Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfasfa.org. That's nmfasfa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm...
Taking you home on a Tuesday, you get hoops tonight. 4 games in the playoffs. Starts at 4 o'clock, Milwaukee and Indiana trying to close them out. Knicks will try to close out Detroit. Boston will try to close out Orlando. And the Clippers in Denver play Game 5 with that series tied 2 games apiece. If you like the puck, you get that tonight. Ottawa, Toronto, New Jersey, Carolina, Minnesota, Vegas, and Edmonton and the Kings. 49ers have signed a 4-year extension worth $76.4 million with George Kittle. Last night in the NBA, Warriors 109-106 over the Rockets. The 7 seed, Golden State, holds a 3-1 lead over the number 2 seed in the West, the Houston Rockets. That game will go back to Texas for game number 5. And the Cavaliers swept, kicked, pumped, beat, embarrassed the Miami Heat by finishing off a 4-game sweep in South Florida, 138-83. That is a 55-point whooping that the number 1 seed Cavaliers put on the Heat. Also this morning, it's coming out of Boise, Idaho. Boise State's football coach, Spencer Danielson, getting a new 5-year extension that will double his salary. He'll average $2.2 million over the course of the deal. Boise State was 12-2 last year, won the Mountain West title, went to the Fiesta Bowl, lost to Penn State. They have one more year in the Mountain West before joining whatever the new reconfigured pack will look like. Makes sense. Have you met him at all? Have you spent any time with Spencer Danielson?
I have not.
Young, energetic. So he's coached at 2 places. And he's a head coach at a high-profile program. He was at Azusa Pacific and then went up and came up through the staff at Boise State. Now they just extended him at Boise State, and he got into the playoff. I mean, that's pretty heady stuff. All right. Emails I haven't got to. Mike says Jordan Hudson, that's the girlfriend of Bill Belichick, equals Kurt Roth. Jeff Alou, how is this different than a lot less attractive dude, Kurt Roth, who's not a university employee, seemingly running Lobo Athletics right now? Really, Mike? Do we have to have,
Dude, that's not even
That's
anywhere
not even
close.
That's such a stretch.
That is a dude that just hates this NIL era and is just trying to throw people under the bus, and that does not work.
Not
man.
even close. With all due respect, sometimes you're close. That was a gigantic swing and a miss. Bill says, meanwhile at the Monument, Jeff, 8 lengths back with 8 first half series to play. The worst team in your league coming to your place is kind of must win for the Isotopes tonight, right? Sure. $1 hot dogs tonight. Everybody wins. You can listen to that here on the Sports Animal. Carl says 151st Kentucky Derby, Jeff. Can we talk about JJ's favorite event? Bob Baffert back at Churchill Downs goes on a scorched earth tour, right? Maybe. Who you got? You got a horse yet for the Derby? Not yet? You will by Friday. I know it's your favorite event.
I'll have a horse.
I know. Hey, look, man, everybody doesn't like everything. Some of you don't like the Masters. Some of you don't like the NBA
I don't tell you
playoffs.
not to watch it. It's
Yeah.
not my thing.
It's not his thing, man. Richard's on JJ's organization. Jeff, there's no way on April 29th, they're 4-24, that they're going to try to pain management Chris Bryant until September, right? He's head under the knife, right? What do you think about the talking heads saying he has sucked so bad in Denver that he's put his spot in Cooperstown in jeopardy? It's from Richard. I don't know that he ever had a spot in Cooperstown. Do you think Chris Bryant was a Hall of Famer before he went to Denver? He was on track to be, potentially.
I never really was, feeling like, oh, this is huge Hall of Famer vibes. Yeah, he did some great things in Chicago.
Yeah. I don't get that. Ron says this should surprise no one, Jeff. The OD has talked for years about the struggles of baseball in Albuquerque. Why would folks expect now, just because those dudes are in Denver, they're going to start winning? It's a fair question, dude. I mean, it's not like basically that squad is a bunch of former Isotopes. It's not like they were winning when they were here.
Dude, the only organization that can win in Albuquerque is the Dodgers.
Their farm system has won consistently everywhere. They won in Vegas. They won in Oklahoma. They won here. On the draft, Lloyd says, what amazes... Oh, I already read you that one. Sorry about that. Obviously, I'm concerned, Richard says. Jeff, when I hear that the cheerleader and chaparral tryouts are indefinitely postponed when other schools around the country in the process have already filled their squads for next year, I'm not encouraged, especially after the last few years. They've changed coaches and advisors and consultants more often than the Big Stick has OD producers. Aren't you the same guy, maybe you're not, that tells me all the time that they shouldn't be practicing so early? He's worried about the cheerleaders. I get it.
Dude, he was waiting on that. He was so sad he could not send that last week.
Is that because nobody would read that crap? I should stop reading that.
It's the same thing.
I know. I will. I won't read those anymore. I won't. Anything else I missed? Wide receiver.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I won't.
You should be able to send what you want.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. People get hurt, and that's why I don't listen when you're not here. Like, how dare you say something?
No, you're not wrong, dude. Deontay Johnson, wide receiver, goes to the Browns. 1-year deal. In case you missed that. What was who did the Cowboys get? Where did I see that on the sheet? I was reading this earlier.
The flirting with maybe Amari Cooper coming back.
That's what it was.
I'd like that for the offense alongside CeeDee Lamb. If you're a Cowboys fan.
What happened? I thought when Amari Cooper went to Buffalo, I thought he was going to be the difference. I really did. I thought Josh Allen was going to finally get his dude and have a number one. And it just, they just didn't throw him the ball. It never materialized. Bad fit, you think, or what? I don't even know. All right, thanks to Kenny Thomas. He was with us today. The Herd with Colin Cowherd is next. The Jim Rome follows that. 2 Men On is in at 4, and then Isotopes Baseball. Isotopes in the Salt Lake Bees. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, appreciate you. Great work on the visuals. He is JJ Buck. I am Jeff Symbieta. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Thank you for spending some time with us today. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing, and we will smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V.
pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast